Hello, and welcome to Future Forward, the show where we discuss the important ideas shaping our lives tomorrow. Today, we are asking a very important question about modern education. Should all schools have a strong focus on technology? It is a topic that affects every parent, teacher, and student. Here to argue for this is Mr. David Chen, a technology curriculum developer who believes tech is absolutely necessary for the future. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you for having me, Sarah. I am happy to be here.
And offering a different view is Ms. Elena Vance, an experienced primary school teacher who worries about the risks of too much technology in the classroom. Welcome, Elena.
It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
We will begin with opening statements from both of our guests. After that, we will discuss the key issues together. David, let's start with you.
Thank you. I believe that a focus on technology in schools is not just a good idea. It is essential. It is fundamental to our children's future. Think about the world we live in today. We use technology for everything. For work, for communication, for shopping, for entertainment. It is completely integrated into our society. A school's most important job is to prepare students for the world they will enter after they graduate. A future without technology skills is simply unimaginable. To send students into the world without these skills is to send them unprepared. We would be failing them. But it's not just about preparing for jobs. Technology makes the act of learning more dynamic and more engaging. Instead of just reading about ancient Rome in a textbook, students can take a virtual tour of the Colosseum. They can use interactive apps to practice a new language with native speakers from around the world. In science class, they can run complex simulations that show how chemical reactions work. This is a much more powerful and memorable way to learn than just looking at diagrams on a page. Furthermore, using technology teaches crucial skills for the 21st century. It teaches digital literacy, which is the ability to find, evaluate, and use information online. It teaches problem solving when students learn basic coding to create a simple game or website. It encourages creativity when they use design software to make digital art or edit a video. In the past, the core of education was reading, writing, and arithmetic. Today, digital competence is just as important. To not give our students a strong focus on technology is like deciding not to teach them how to read. It puts them at a terrible disadvantage.
Thank you, David. A very strong case for the importance of technology. Elena, we now turn to you for your opening statement.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, David, for your thoughts. I want to begin by saying that I am not against technology. I use it, and I see its value. However, I believe that a focus on technology in all schools is a dangerous idea. The goal of education should always be balance, and an intense focus on one area can cause us to lose sight of what is truly important. Before we rush to give every child a tablet, we must make sure we have perfected the fundamental skills that need no technology at all. I am talking about the ability to read a physical book and lose yourself in the story, the skill of writing clearly and beautifully by hand, and most importantly, the art of having a face-to-face conversation with another person. These are the foundations of all learning. They teach patience, discipline, and empathy in a way that a screen cannot. I also have serious concerns about the health and social development of our children. Study after study shows the negative effects of too much screen time. It can affect eyesight, sleep patterns, and physical health. Socially, children who spend more time interacting with devices can find it harder to understand social cues, to share, and to work together in person. These are skills they need for a happy and successful life. Finally, there is the critical issue of fairness. David speaks of a future full of technology, but many of my students live in homes without a computer or reliable internet. This is the digital divide, and it is very real. If schoolwork and homework require technology, we are creating an unfair system. We are punishing students for their family's economic situation. A school should be a place of equal opportunity for all. In conclusion, the most important piece of technology in any classroom is, and always will be, the human connection between a passionate teacher and an engaged student. Let's invest our focus and our money there first.
Thank you both for those clear and compelling opening statements. You have given us a lot to think about. David, you talk about these exciting new ways to learn, like virtual tours and simulations. Elena, you raise serious concerns about health, social skills, and balance. So my question is this: how can a school use technology effectively without it taking over the classroom and causing these problems that Elena described?
That is an excellent question, and it gets to the heart of the matter. The key is to see technology as a tool, not as a replacement for the teacher. A hammer is a tool for a builder, but the builder is still in charge. It is the same in the classroom. The teacher is the expert who decides when and how to use the technology tool for a specific purpose. For example, a teacher would not have students stare at a tablet for the entire school day. That would be a terrible use of the tool. Instead, the teacher might plan a 30-minute research project where students use tablets to find information about a specific topic. After that, the tablets are put away and the students work in groups to discuss what they found. It is also the school's responsibility to teach what we call digital citizenship. This means teaching students how to use technology in a healthy and responsible way. We teach them about online safety, about finding reliable information, and about knowing when it is time to take a break from the screen. The goal is to blend these new tools with traditional teaching methods. It's not a choice between technology and a teacher. It's about giving a great teacher more tools to create an even better learning experience.
This idea of blended learning sounds very good in theory, David. But as a teacher, I can tell you that the reality in a busy classroom is often very different. When you introduce devices, you also introduce a powerful source of distraction. Even with the best teacher, it is very difficult to make sure students are researching the Roman Empire and not playing a game or messaging their friends. It creates a new challenge for classroom management that takes time and energy away from teaching the actual subject. We also cannot ignore the cost. Implementing technology properly is incredibly expensive. You need the devices, the special software, the technical support when it breaks, and constant training for the teachers. I often wonder what else we could do with that money. Could we hire more teachers to make class sizes smaller? Could we buy more books for the library? Could we invest in art and music programs? These are things we know have a huge positive impact on students. Sometimes, the best tool for teaching critical thinking and creativity is not a new app, but a simple pen and a blank piece of paper.
That is a very practical point about resources, Elena, and it connects to something you mentioned in your opening statement, the digital divide. So let me ask you directly, how do we ensure that a school's focus on technology is fair for students from all economic backgrounds? What happens to the children who go home to a house with no computer?
This, for me, is the biggest and most important problem with a technology-first approach. It is a question of basic fairness. If a teacher gives homework that requires students to watch an online video or use a web-based program, the students who don't have internet at home simply cannot do it. It's not their fault. This creates immediate inequality. But it also creates feelings of stress, anxiety, and shame for those students. They may feel embarrassed to tell the teacher they couldn't do the work. They start to feel that school is not a place for them, that they are different, and that they cannot succeed. A school should be the one place in a child's life where the playing field is level, where every child has an equal chance to shine. By relying too much on technology that not everyone has, we are building new walls between students. We are making social inequality worse, not better. We are creating barriers to education, not removing them.
David, how do you respond to that? How can a technology-focused system be fair?
I agree completely that this is a serious challenge. Elena is right to be concerned about it. The stories of students feeling shame because they lack access at home are heartbreaking, and we must address it. However, the answer is not to avoid technology in school. That would be a huge mistake. It would punish all students by making their education less relevant to the modern world. The answer is to solve the problem of access directly. The school itself must become the solution to the digital divide. This means that schools must provide all the necessary technology for every student during the school day. Every child should use a school-provided device. All technology-based work should be done in the classroom, where access is guaranteed for everyone. In this model, it doesn't matter if a student has a fast computer at home or no computer at all. In the classroom, everyone is equal. Everyone has access to the same powerful tools and the same opportunities. The school becomes the great equalizer. It closes the digital divide. Rather than making it wider, it gives students from low-income families access to tools and skills that could change their lives. Skills they might never develop otherwise.
We are coming to the end of our time. I would like to ask you both for a brief closing statement. Please summarize your position for our audience. David, you can go first.
Certainly. We cannot deny the reality that we live in a digital world. Our responsibility as educators and as a society is to prepare our children for the world they will actually live in, not the world some of us grew up in. With a thoughtful, balanced, and fair approach, technology makes learning more powerful, more engaging, and more relevant. It gives students the essential skills they need to succeed in the 21st century. Choosing to hold back on technology in schools is not the safe choice. It is a choice that will leave our children unprepared and behind.
Thank you, David. And now, Elena, your final thoughts.
I want to be very clear. No one is saying we should completely ignore technology. That is not a realistic position. The key word in our discussion today is focus. A primary focus on technology is a mistake. We must first protect and strengthen the real core of education. This core is made of critical thinking, creativity, social skills, and the vital human relationship between teachers and their students. These human skills are timeless. They are more important than any piece of software or any new device. Let's use technology carefully, as one small tool in a large box of tools, but let's keep our main focus on developing well-rounded, thoughtful, and kind human beings.
Thank you, Mr. David Chen and Ms. Elena Vance, for sharing your valuable and passionate perspectives with us today. You have perfectly highlighted the central challenge: finding the right way to prepare our students for a digital future while also protecting the essential human elements of education. That is all the time we have for this episode of Future Forward. Thank you for watching.